I've lived with food allergies for over 40 years. It started with an allergy to beef and pork. Eventually, it expanded into an allergy to wheat, apples, oregano, cashews, and dairy. But worst of all, I found out that corn is a toxin for me. I recently found out that I'm not alone on this journey and that there are many like me. I am learning to live well in a contaminated world. This means I have to make many things from scratch. I have to make my own breakfast sausage, my own biscuits, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, and any other condiments. I also have to make my own body care, shampoo, mouthwash, hand soap. Everything has to be made from scratch. Learning to live well means removing as many chemicals as I possibly can from my home. Join me on this journey in learning to live well. It is grilling season. What wonderful things can be made on the grill, but we do need our condiments. Since I can't have any commercially made condiments, I have to make my own. So let's make some ketchup. Our ingredients for ketchup start with 2 28-ounce cans of tomato sauce. We're going to use 3/4 cup of red wine vinegar, since I can't use distilled white vinegar, which is made from corn. And we're going to use a touch of water to rinse the cans out. We want all that goodness out. And then our spices. We're going to stir this together very well and then set it on high heat, uncovered, for 4 to 6 hours, stirring every 30 minutes. Next, we're going to make mayonnaise. After all, who doesn't love a good potato salad or some deviled eggs? Or just to smear on some bread to make a great sandwich with. But again, I have to make my own. So here are our ingredients. We have our spices, some light olive oil, an egg, some white wine vinegar. Now let's make some mayonnaise. We're going to start with our spices. Then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of white wine vinegar, an egg, and then a cup of oil. And now for the magic. We're going to blend this for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And there you have it, a luscious, wonderful flavored mayonnaise. Now, what do you do when you can't have a commercially made dressing? We're going to turn the mayonnaise that I just made into a honey mustard dressing and dipping sauce. It's fabulous. So, here's our mayonnaise that we just made, the star of the show, and we're going to add a few more ingredients to it to make it into a honey mustard dressing. So we're going to start with 1.5 teaspoons of mustard. And what else does mustard have that we don't have yet? A little bit of extra vinegar, so a couple more teaspoons of the white wine vinegar. Then we're going to add our honey. Depending on how sweet you want your honey mustard, we're going to add between 1/4 and 1/2 cup. You adjust it to your taste. And then we're just going to blend this up really quick. Yum! It is a fabulous honey mustard dressing. I love barbecued chicken, but again, I can't buy a commercial barbecue sauce, so I've had to make my own. So let's get started. The juice of whole peeled tomatoes. You can use canned or your own homegrown tomatoes. And I crush these by hand and strain it so that I get the seeds out. I have a high histamine system, and that means that I have to avoid the seeds and the peels of tomatoes. Next, we're going to add some sugar, molasses, mustard powder, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, some smoked sea salt for that wonderful smoky flavor, a touch of honey, and to thicken it all up, I use a touch of arrowroot powder mixed with water. A couple of tablespoons and about 1/4 cup of water usually does the trick. Once we get this all blended together, we're going to cook it on the stove for 10 to 15 minutes over medium heat until it's thickened up. Now this makes 1 quart of delicious sauce. Stay tuned for more recipe ideas. And remember, if you're allergic to any ingredient that I've used, substitute what's safe for you. This is all about learning to live well.